Hello, and welcome to another episode of OK Karen
Okay, Karen.
with Betsy. And
Angela.
hi, everybody. Welcome back,
Hello.
or welcome if you're new here. So glad you're here. Angela, did you have someone you wanted to
We
shout out?
do. I need to shout out a friend of mine. She works with me, Ashley. She is a new subscriber to our YouTube channel. So
Well, thanks,
thank you so
Ashley.
much. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so we are going to talk tonight about
This
be
is going to shock y'all.
this is, I mean,
It's
yeah,
going to
if you
shock them,
know us and
Betsy.
we're
Not for you, but people like Angela, have you lost your mind?
right. And I thought the same thing when Angela actually suggested this topic. And I was like, well, how's that going to work for you? So the topic is crunchy, being a little crunchy. And I don't know, have you become more crunchy?
Oh, for
Or
sure. So,
younger? Okay.
first of all, let's explain what crunchy is because some
Okay.
people are like, what are you talking about? Are you like crunchy, like your attitude is like, you
No,
know,
that would be spicy.
oh, yeah,
You
definitely
remember?
spicy. Oh, yeah, from New Orleans. And
Yeah.
the older I
She's
get, the
spicy.
spicier I get, for
Yes,
sure.
that's definitely a thing because you just don't really give a
Yeah,
crap. You don't give a crap.
all the F's are gone.
That's right. That's right.
But so crunchy is kind of like, what would you say, like back to nature-ish?
Natural, organic, kind of do it yourself, those kind of things. Like if you can do it or
Right.
make it yourself, reuse, recycle, repurpose. I think for me, it's everything from like food to that. And then some people it includes, like, um, what is it called? Homeopathic,
Yes,
things
which is
like
some of
that.
the stuff that we'll talk about tonight because I have a son
Yes.
of that. So, you want me to go ahead and start?
Yeah, well, I wanted to say one thing I just
Oh,
heard a couple days ago,
what
which
did you
is,
hear?
how they say like a crunchy mom. And,
Mhm.
and I don't know
They
if you
also
know
use
this.
that crunchy or granola. Like
Yes.
they intermix those
Yeah, those
those.
are the same. I think in my mind, those mean the same thing. So
Yes.
a crunchy mom, and then on the other end of the spectrum is called a silky mom. Did you know that? Yeah.
No, but I like silky better than crunchy.
Well, I think that you would be silky more than crunchy. But in the middle, they say scrunchy. You're a scrunchy mom, which I guess is just like a little of both. I mean, it's just average, like the,
I'm going to be honest. I don't want to be anything but silky. Don't call me scrunchy. Don't call me crunchy, even though I'm going to go over some stuff, y'all, and I am kind of leaning toward crunchy, but just still call me silky. How's
yes.
that?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I don't think in my group of friends I would be considered a crunchy mom, but I guess maybe I just know people that are a lot more crunchy. So I think we are just a little bit crunchy. So we're going to give you
Yeah.
a few crunchy things that we do or that we've started doing. And Angela, you start. What do you think?
Okay. So one of the first things, that I just started recently is I made my own hair serum. So I don't know if other women have issue with like their hair, like kind of as you get older, it gets thinner. I know a lot of people that got COVID, they lost a ton of their hair.
Oh yeah.
So, I made this serum and I just started it. So I haven't, like really like even gone a month with it, but I got the recipe out of this book and Betsy, you can link this book, can't you?
Yeah, I'll put the link below
Okay.
on the YouTube channel. If you're listening on Spotify, I'm not so great with knowing how to do links in the description there. So you'll have to look it up on YouTube if you're really interested. I'm assuming that you saw this book. Was this a TikTok
It was
influence?
a TikTok book,
Okay.
yes. And it just has all kinds of stuff in there. But one of the things is hair serum, and it has rosemary oil, castor oil, or rosemary essential drop, or I'm sorry, it has rosemary, the plant, and you boil that with water, and then you
Bowl?
put, huh?
Sorry, the way you said bowl.
You boil? Did I say it wrong? You boil. Yeah, yeah, you boil it. You can boil it.
All right, good.
You
That's a whole, okay, dialects and country accents,
boil it.
a whole nother episode. So anyway, you're giving me the ingredient list here, and I'm really surprised because I can't ever see you putting something that has oil on
Right.
hair because you do
So,
not seem like you would want oil on your hair.
and then it has clove bud essential oil. So,
Okay.
this is what I do. I put a little shampoo, and you do it like 3 times a week, three, maybe four at the most, but I mix it in with my shampoo. And
Okay, that's
I made
interesting.
like 2 bottles. And yeah, so we're gonna see. It has not made my hair like like my hair is not any greasy. It's not oily. So
Okay.
and I think
Well,
that's because
that's
I did
good.
it, yeah, with the shampoo. But yeah, so I will report back in about a month because I've been doing it pretty, religiously for a week and a half, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
that's
that's
one
really
thing.
interesting.
And I was talking to my friends about it. And yeah, so I think actually my group of friends here, the girls, Michelle, Johnette, Melissa, Susan, Grace, we were talking about getting together. And that was one thing we were going to do is maybe make some serum. And then I'll tell
Oh.
you later what we're really going to make, which is
So
going to
our
blow your
idiom,
mind.
so they haven't started it. You were just telling
No,
them about
no.
it. They're
I'm
like,
the
oh,
first
maybe.
one to do this hair serum.
Okay. And it'll take, I mean, you want to give it some time to see if you see a change. Do you think
Right.
it would, like with thickness, also with like the way it looks, or just like the healthiness of it?
So my hair, like I'm kind of lucky that it doesn't like it generally has like a nice shine to it.
Hmm.
So I really just want like the thickness.
Okay. See,
So
we are
we'll
on opposite. I'm like, I have the thickness, but I have no shine. So our hair
oh,
is like really different. That's why I was wondering if
very
what to
different.
do for my hair, because my hair is so dry.
Yeah.
Like I could not wash my
Well,
hair for a week and it still wouldn't
you wouldn't
look
even
great
notice.
at all.
Right. Well, listen, I'll bring you some next time I see you,
Okay.
and you can try it just to see if it does something like gives you like some shine or something.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Let people
interesting.
know. Yeah.
So that is one of my kind of crunchy things is that I do not, I only shampoo my hair probably like 3 or 4 times a year, every few months.
But also, people that don't know you, explain why you do it that way. Because y'all, if y'all don't know, Betsy has really tight, tight curls.
Yeah, so I have really tight
So,
curls. It's really thick, and my hair is like gets really, really dried out. So if I shampoo it, it like I actually need the oil, and I need that to keep it like
mhm,
not just so I'm a big frizzy ball of hair on top of my head. And so the same reason I don't brush it. So that just helps the natural oils. Actually, I need those natural oils. I don't want to
right.
wash them away. So I still wash my hair with water and use my hands and like massage my scalp and, break up anything that's like buildup or anything. And then I use conditioner on the rest of my hair, but
Like the
not my
rest of
scalp.
it.
And I leave the conditioner on, not leaving conditioners, regular conditioner, just leave it on, like handfuls of conditioner and then get out.
And you don't brush your hair,
And I don't brush it. I just do the finger raking, like
the
put my
finger.
fingers under it
Yeah.
so that the curls aren't all separated. Because then again, we don't need any more volume over here. We don't need, anything making the hair bigger. God.
Whoa.
Yes, so we are very different. So that's very interesting. I wonder what like a hair serum like that would do for my hair. It could be
Yeah.
useful.
Because I instead like how I do mine, mix it with the shampoo. Now I don't even know if I should be doing it that way because is the serum even working? I don't know that answer.
That's what I was
But
wondering. Does it tell you in the book like should you apply it first and then do shampoo or should you do it
no,
after shampoo? It
it
doesn't give you
doesn't
any.
tell me. But I did like sometimes because I have it comes in the bottle I put it in has a dropper. So like the other day I just put it on and then I did the shampoo. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it like a weekend, like Saturday morning, just putting
Leave
it
it on.
on and
Mhm.
then later that day showering,
That would be
just
interesting. Yeah. So the oil has time to, be on your scalp and
that.
see.
Right.
That's
Right.
okay. Yeah, but I'm sure you don't want to try that out on like a day you're going to work. You'll be like,
Mm-mm.
I need to wear a
No.
scrub cap all day today.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness. So the other
So,
hair thing I do that is kind of crunchy is that I cut my own hair. So, and if you have curly hair like me and you're interested, I read a book called The Curly Girl. So I think it's just called Curly Girl years ago. It's an older book. I mean, decades ago. And that really changed how I do my hair. And if you see pictures of me, you can go back and look at what was it, our eighth grade episode that we did? We had pictures of us in eighth grade. Do you remember?
Yes, yes,
We'll link that
yes.
here if you want to see what it was like before I knew how to do my hair,
Do your
and I
own
just brushed
hair.
it and tried it to be tried to make my hair what it did not want to be. That's what I was doing, and it did not work out well for me. So anyway, the other thing is I cut my own hair, which my hair is pretty easy to cut because it just is going to curl up in different lengths anyway. So if I'm not
Right,
exactly even, then it's not gonna nobody's gonna notice. And I also cut my kids' hair, and the boys' hair is more difficult than the girls, obviously. But
oh yeah,
yeah, I started the kids' hair, and I'm like, this is way easier than taking everybody in every couple months. Boys' hair have to be cut all the time. Um,
right,
and then like it's just easier. I'm like, I don't want to I have two 2-year-olds and a 3-year-old. Like this is not where I want to be spending my time and my money is like that's a lot to bring.
oh.
We
So so I started cutting people's hair during COVID.
you told me this and I was shocked. I was like,
I listen, I'm as shocked as you are when someone said, "Hey, can you cut my hair?" I was like, "Sure." First of all, why do you think I can cut hair?
I
Second
can't
of
believe
all,
you said sure. And I can't
yeah,
believe your friends, no offense, but I would be like, I'll just try it myself. No offense,
no,
Angela.
I cut like Lisa's hair, and at the time, her and I shared the same hairdresser, and the hairdresser was like, "You did a pretty good job, Angela." I was like, "Thanks." I cut Maddie's, couple of my nieces. I don't understand. And then not too long ago, my mom was like, "Listen, just come cut my hair." I said, "Oh, okay, I'll cut your hair." Now, it is much easier for girls. That's
Yeah.
why I was stopped you because I cannot cut boys because one, it's too short. Like a girls, if you mess up, you can just keep going,
Yeah.
okay, instead of
And
cutting
like
it
boys,
half
if
an
you
inch, you
mess
just
up,
cut an
you're like,
inch.
get out the
Yeah.
clippers. You gotta have a
Yes,
buzz
you
cut.
just gonna shave it. And because they have like cowlicks and all over the place. And
How did
so
your mom's turn out? Did you cut it?
oh yeah, I did cut it, and it
Oh,
turned.
good.
She was really happy with
So
it.
you just
Although I
trimmed,
did
like
this
you just took
side,
an inch or two off the bottom all the way
I took
around.
about ended up taking about 2 inches. I don't know if she
Okay.
wanted it that short, but that's what we went to level it all out.
Yeah.
But okay, how did you just started cutting their hair? You read something about their hair or
Well, I
what?
cut my own hair for years. I think
Yeah,
one time I was getting ready with you one time. I was with you and I said, "Do you have a pair of scissors?" And you were like, "Yeah." And you handed them to me. You were putting on your makeup. I was doing my
yeah.
stuff in front of the mirror
Oh,
and I
I
just went
remember
clip
this
and
vividly because you just were like,
I just clipped a little piece off the side that was just looked too long, because like, oh, this
yeah.
curl is hanging down too long and I clipped it off. And you were like, "What? I thought you were going to cut a tag off of clothes. Like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "It's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, just get ready. Let's go." So I've cut my hair, I mean, gosh, since high school, maybe college. I don't
But
remember.
your hair is different than your boy's hair.
Yes, so I started doing boys' hair. I think so. I did some volunteer work in Central America, and the other volunteers, the male, like American volunteers that were down there, were like, "We don't want to go pay
Desperate.
for a haircut because like we're living
Oh,
on like $20 a week here, like we don't want to go pay for a
right.
haircut. Like, can you cut our hair?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'll try." And they were like, "Okay." And like after the first one, which took like, I'm not kidding, like 2 hours because I was like, ooh, like like really nervous about it. I did one guy's hair, and then they were all like, "Can you do mine? Can you do mine? Can you do mine?" Like, because they also really didn't care too much if it wasn't like,
Right.
it's not like they're doing job interviews. They're volunteer teaching, and they're like 22 years old. They're like, I don't care. Uh,
Yes.
and so that gave me a little bit more practice on adult males
Gotcha.
that didn't really care too much. And so now with my boys too, I'm also like, if I cut it a little wonky, I'm gonna give him another haircut in a month anyway. And like, yeah,
It'll grow out.
we can always
Yeah.
go to a professional if it's really bad. So,
It does. It grows out so quick.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's one
Um,
I got on my list.
okay.
Anything else with hair?
Nothing with hair. I'm gonna move to um s- granola. Speaking of granola, I make my own granola. We said
You told
bought
me
it.
this.
Yes.
That's
And
a great.
it is so good, and it's so kind of easy to make that now I don't even like look at it at the store because I'm like, one, I know exactly what goes in mine. It's
Mhm,
no added sugar. To make it give it a little sweetness, I add honey or maple syrup.
mhm.
And then the oil I use is either I like avocado oil for it. and then I put the oats, and I always put a little tahini in it. I don't know why, I just have it, so I put it in. You don't have to do that. And then some cinnamon, and then I put whatever I have in my pantry. Like sometimes I'll put coconut, not the small coconut, like I have big pieces of coconut.
Hmm.
um, I have pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax, chia seeds. Although chia seeds gets in your teeth, but they're so good for you, like the
Right.
fiber and
Hmm.
stuff. Sometimes I throw in craisins. Sometimes I throw in a handful of like chocolate chips. So it really is just like whatever I have, whatever I feel like putting in. And
Nice.
yeah, I make it and pass it on to, we're all on the same street. So I passed on to like my mom,
Yeah.
my cousin down the street,
Now,
and
do you just eat it as a snack? Like just pick at it in the bag, or do
sometimes
you put it with yogurt or
no, I tried with yogurt, but I don't always keep yogurt in my house. So I'll just put it in like a bag and eat it on my way to work for breakfast, or
nice?
something like that. And I think my mom eats it as a snack. My cousin eats it as a snack. So
How
yeah,
much do you make at once? Like I'm picturing like a 5 gallon bucket of granola.
no, I wish it made that much.
This is what
I
I would need in my house.
I have a big pan,
Hmm.
and I fill that whole pan up. So
Like
can you
cookie
see?
sheet pan.
Yes, a cookie
Okay.
sheet. And then I let it cool for a while, and then I break it all up into pieces.
Now,
So
is this recipe a TikTok recipe?
it's a mixture of TikTok recipes.
Okay.
Like I watched several, like a lot of TikToks, and
Hmm.
just kind of tweaked it with my preference and what I like, and I kind of wrote it down, and that's what I go with.
Do you measure the oats and like the honey or the maple syrup, or do you just
I
like
no.
pour it in a bowl and see what it feels like?
Um, the oats I met, just like just a rough measurement, because I had the
Hmm.
measuring cup out. No, the oil and the honey and that,
You
I
just go
just
by
like
feel of
I
how
yeah,
sticky it is. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
look at
yeah.
you.
I
Because
know.
I feel like normally when you bake, you are more particular
Very,
about the measurements.
yes, yes. But
But
this
this
I'm
is
not
something
as
you've made
much.
enough times that you're like okay with it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and then you have to add some salt in it. Salt brings out
of course.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Oh,
add like some Himalayan salt, or the coarse sea salt or something.
so the next time we have a girls' trip, you are going to bring granola for us to have for breakfast.
I will bring granola if
Okay.
you bring your sourdough.
I will, and then that has already happened. I'm happy to bring,
Yes,
my husband was laughing at me because the last trip we did, which was to Savannah, Georgia,
Savannah.
I brought a carry-on, a little rolling carry-on, a small one, and I had 2 loaves of sourdough bread in there. And my husband was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, tonight we were getting it on a Friday." I was like, "We're just having like, like appetizers and stuff because everybody was flying in at different times, and we're like just gonna hang out at the Airbnb." Um, and he was like, "You're bringing 2 loaves of homemade bread in your luggage." And I was like, "Yeah." And then on the way home, I'll have like room in case I want to buy any souvenirs. I'll have the space where the 2 loaves of bread was. The
And
way
they
I
were
did.
so, one, they were so good, and two, it was still hot,
Was
like
it
when
really
we,
still warm? That's
yes, of
so
course.
funny.
I don't know if it was because Savannah and it was in your
Right?
luggage, and
It was in the belly of the, no, it wasn't in the belly of the plane, but it was warm.
but it
So
was
that's
so good.
Yeah, so sourdough has been something, gosh, it's been like a year and a half that I've been doing sourdough. And I would say it took about 6 months to actually get a good rhythm down. Like sourdough, people that are like, oh, it's so easy. You won't even have
It
to think
is
about it.
not.
It is not so easy, and now I don't have to think about it. Now I have the recipe. Now I know, like you were saying, the feel of it. Like I'll be mixing it, and I'll be like, okay, this isn't stretchy enough, or like maybe I'm gonna add a little bit more flour. That is not how it was the first 6 months. The first 6 months, I'd bake a loaf and it would not rise, and I'd be like, "Argh!" Like I was always tweaking and troubleshooting. The good thing is that like the internet, YouTube exists, and you literally can
Yeah.
troubleshoot any tiny problem that you have and figure it out, but it takes the bake time and the mix time. And like I was making once or twice a week, I would make bread. And it took, I would say, about 6 months to get to get it down to where I was successful every time. That's a long time. That's a
But
lot of
also,
bread.
like for sourdough, people are like, you have to feed it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not going to eat anything that I have to feed once a week or once every couple of days. I don't even know what that means.
That's
Feed
not true. Your mama feeds
bread.
the chickens and you eat the eggs.
Yeah, but they're live things. Sourdough live? Is it
Yeah,
gonna
it
pop,
is.
pop,
It's
pop?
like live culture. The
What?
bacteria is
Live.
alive.
And
Yeah.
then some people name it. I'm like, you
There is a
name
naming
your
thing. And I don't
sourdough?
know why people, they
You
like to
name
think it's their
yours?
baby. No, I didn't name it, but I had some friends over. This is kind of a crunchy thing. I had a few mom friends and they're like preteen slash teen children. Like they each brought one of their kids
Hmm.
over to go over it because they were like, we want our kids to learn. And so we spent the day and like did start to finish, like this is how you do it. And I gave them a little thing of starter. And the preteens and teens all named it. They were like, we get to name our little starter. And I was like, I never named mine, sorry. Like, so the
Yeah.
feeding it, once you get the hang of it, like mine stays in the fridge on Sundays, just because I know I always do it on Sunday. I water my plants on Sunday and I feed my starter. I pull it out and I give it flour and water, mix it up. You could put it right back in the fridge. Like, so that part, once you get the hang of it, is a lot easier because when you don't know, you're like, I have to feed it every day. And how much do I have to feed it? And I have to weigh
Okay.
it. I have to like, there's a
Hold
lot.
on.
Okay.
Let me ask you, because what you said doesn't even make sense to me. Because when I make bread, because I made bread before, and it's like, okay, yeast, blah, 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 need, set aside for an hour, come back, need, set aside for an hour. And then I'm baking that bread that day. You are feeding every Sunday. When are you making the bread?
So here's the thing. The sourdough starter that's in your fridge is essentially, think of that as the same as your yeast. It's just the yeast part of it. So you
Huh.
add that to flour and water or oil and egg or
Oh,
butter,
you just
whatever
take a
you're
little
doing.
bit of that out and add to
Yes.
it.
So that's
Okay.
essentially, so instead of yeast that you would do in a little packet, the dry yeast, you're
Okay.
using
Okay.
sourdough. And then the sourdough takes longer to be activated. So like normally yeast, your recipe says like let rest an hour or like till it's
Yes.
doubled in size an hour to 2 hours
Right.
or something. So sourdough, depending on how strong it is and the temperature in your kitchen and all these other variables, which is why it's difficult, it could take anywhere from 5.5 hours to 12 hours overnight for it to be activated and
Wow.
proof. It could take that long to proof. So you're never going to see them using sourdough on Great British Baking Show. They don't like they got a 4 hour
Yeah.
window. You
It's
know what I mean?
it's it's not too it's too
Um,
yeah. Gotcha.
so I put it in my oven with just the light on, and it only
Uh-huh.
takes 5.5 hours. But that's a recipe that says overnight, like up to 12 hours, and
Oh.
it takes it 5.5 because it's like 80 degrees in my oven, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, I had to learn like room temperature, it takes 8 hours. But my kitchen is not 65 degrees, which I guess is what they consider room temperature. My kitchen's the hottest room in my house. It's like 78 degrees. So it takes a lot less time.
Oh.
So there's all these tweaking things. So what's in the fridge that you're talking about feeding and that you've
Hmm.
named is
Hmm.
essentially just the yeast part of it. So you take that out and you make a bread recipe with just a little bit of that. And then you keep that
And then
alive
there's
in the
still
fridge.
some in the fridge.
Right,
Okay, are
exactly.
you making just sourdough bread or are you making like because I see now people are like making like
Oh,
pancakes and
yes. Yeah.
bagels and like
So
pizza
I
and
did
all kinds of
just
stuff.
like the same bread recipe, which is what you got. I did that for 6 months until I like had it down. And now I
Gotcha.
do a sourdough sandwich bread that I really like.
Oh, okay.
And the kids like that a lot. Like my son, who just turned 6, walked through the kitchen the other day and he was like, oh, it was like bedtime. And he goes, oh, thank you, Mom. Thank you. I was like, you can have some for
Aw,
breakfast, go to bed. Um,
yeah,
so that one, because it's more of a like the one that I gave you is more like an artisan, like crusty
right.
kind
It's
of loaf,
the
with the
round
holes
loaf
in
that,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
And so just, obviously kids are gonna like that softer like texture of
right.
a homemade bread. So I make that. Pancakes are super easy. Cinnamon rolls, I've made a couple times, but I'm gonna be honest, I like my recipe with just regular yeast cinnamon
The
rolls a
regular.
lot better. They're more like a cinnabon. Like they don't, and some people love the sourdough taste. Like, oh, I like that tanginess in my cinnamon rolls. And I'm like, you know
Right.
what? I got a good thing going with my regular cinnamon rolls, so I'm not gonna
Don't
force
mess that
the
up.
sourdough issue. Yeah. So there's like probably like 4 or 5 different sourdough recipes that I've been using. And then every few months I'll be like, I'll try a new one. But every new one I try, it has to be tweaked and I have to figure it out. It takes a lot.
Gotcha.
So I
Yeah.
do think once you're in it, like you're 6 months in, a year in, sourdough's easy. Like that bread that I made you is super simple. I know the recipe by, on the back of my hand and I got it
Yeah.
down and it's gonna come out good every time. If I'm having company for dinner, I'm using that recipe. I know what it's gonna be and it's gonna be great. But it took
And
a
for
lot to get there. It's not
well,
easy to start with.
and for people though that have never had sourdough, like some people that can't like tolerate gluten,
Hmm.
they can tolerate sourdough. Like your sister
Yes.
Jenny said she is fine with sourdough, but like regular loaf bread kind of hurts her stomach. So sourdough
Yes.
is
Yeah.
easier for the body to like digest.
For
So
some
just
reason, it has a lot
FYI.
lower gluten in it, and
Yes.
I am
So
still
if
like
you never
baffled by
tried
this.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
try it because it is very good.
Yeah. So I'm still like, I do not know the science behind that because I'm like, I'm using regular flour. I'm using
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it is
I don't
regular
know.
flour.
It's so weird. So anyway, that's the sourdough, my sourdough journey. And
Yeah.
now I use my sourdough to barter for farm fresh eggs.
And y'all, Betsy said, "Oh, because we kind of talk like throw it back and forth before this might come as a surprise that we do kind of plan a little bit of
We
these."
plan a little bit. I sent her a list of my crunchy stuff and she sent me a list of hers. And that was,
And on
we're
her
good.
crunchy, it said barter, and I said, "What are you bartering?" Because that's not to me. Barter is not. I just get a negative term and negative like feel about it. And
I'm
Betsy's
gonna,
like,
what are you talking
"Tell
about?
her."
My
Yeah.
bread, obviously. Okay, so here's the thing. I think that barter is just a funny word. Like, I could just say I trade sourdough bread for eggs. Like, I could just say that, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's such an old word that nobody uses anymore. I just think it's quirky and funny to be like,
To
it's
say
like one of
barter.
those things, if you know me. I always try and say the word eyeball instead of eye because I think it's funnier. I'd be like, oh my gosh, there's something about eyeball. It's just funnier, and I don't know why. So I say barter, and I get the reaction from Angela that I wanted, which was for
That
her to be like, what? What are you
yeah.
talking about? So yes, I barter, and I'm trying to think of other people I can trade this out. If you live near me and you would like some sourdough bread, once a week, once a month, what do you get? Offer me
What do
something.
you have?
I'd be
Yeah.
happy to trade you. Yeah. You gonna
So what
make
do you barter the sourdough for eggs from Jenny? Is that what you
yes
said?
from my
Okay.
sister.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we trade once a week. I give
Nice.
her a fresh loaf of warm bread. Her kids love it. They get super excited. And then she gives me a dozen eggs, which is worth a lot right now.
Oh
So,
yeah. Yeah,
you
that's a
know,
gold mine right there.
and those aren't like, great value plain white eggs from Walmart. These are
No.
like, these are fresh from their chickens. They haven't even been
Right.
refrigerated yet. Um, So yeah, and then we have one other friend that really loves bread, and when we go, they have like get-togethers at their house, and people bring potlucks. They did a soup night in the winter, and everybody brings stuff, and every time they invite us, and they're like, "And you're bringing the bread, right?" Like, "Yes,
Oh,
bread."
that's nice.
And she has like a cookie shop. It's a shop now. She has like a
Oh,
storefront. Yeah, it was
I
just at
think
home.
are
Now
those the
she has a
cookies
shop.
you sent me
Yes,
for Valentine's Day? Yeah, those
yes.
are really good. Those
Mhm.
are like legit commercial cookies, you know?
Yes. Yes, she does an
Good.
excellent job. So she
Yeah.
does like birthdays and different events like that. But also now she has a shop and she does like these s'mores cookies that weigh like 4 ounces or something. They're really good.
Gosh.
Yeah, so she does that. Shout out the cookie plot. You would love this, Angela. If you come, you have to come. It's a bookstore and cookies in one
Uh,
store.
can I work there?
I mean, right? I'm like, this is great. I want to go and get me a fat
Yeah.
cookie and a drink and just sit here and like browse your books. And like a little cute
Yes.
little bookstore, not like a big Barnes and
Oh,
Noble. Isn't that nice?
and that's in
Um,
Corpus?
yes, it's in Corpus. So shout out the cookie plot.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when she has like a pop-up sale or something, I'd be like, if you have extra that don't sell, let me know, give me a couple and I'll give you a loaf of bread. And she's like, done. So we like
Oh,
meet up.
nice.
Yeah, my
Very
kids are
nice.
very happy about that because like I like to bake cookies, but I mean obviously I don't do what she can do with the cookies, right?
Right, right. Good
So
job, Mom, getting some free
yeah, so
cookies. So,
um yeah, so
speaking
that's
of
it.
cookies, though,
Yes, go
one of the
ahead.
things I make that you put into cookies is homemade vanilla.
Yes.
And I will go ahead and say this. So, I made it a couple years ago, and go if you want to give it for gifts for Christmas, go ahead and start making it now
Mhm.
because I made it, I think started in June and gave it out as gifts for Christmas for December. And
Mhm.
it super easy. I got vanilla beans from Amazon and then I just put them in I bought bottles from Amazon like that and then put Tito's vodka and then you just
Nice.
go and shake it and yeah, I gave it out as gifts and everyone loved it.
So when I first found out that this is like how you make vanilla, like
Yeah.
liquid vanilla extract, I was felt like I had been cheated. I'm like, are you
Right.
kidding
'Cause
me? That's
vanilla
what it
is so
is?
expensive.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
it's just vodka, right?
Hmm.
Vodka and vanilla
And
beans. And it
vanilla
just has to
beans.
sit a long time. And that's
Yes.
what you use. And I was like, why don't we know that? I feel like if I lived 100 years ago, everybody would have known that. And now I'm like, do people know this? Am I the only one? I didn't know
Well,
this.
no, because Ina Garden, I remember her. You know who she is off
Mm,
of Food Network.
yes. Okay.
So she went into her pantry one time and she was like, let me get out my homemade vanilla. And she had a big jar.
Hmm.
And I was like,
You could just
homemade
use
vanilla?
the
What?
whole thing of vodka, the whole
Yeah,
jar.
just
Yeah.
add the vanilla beans. I mean, in that is a good idea. But she though tops it off. I don't know how she tops it off. I
Mm,
haven't done that. I just used what I used and then
right.
that's it.
Which it should last a long time. And you can't go too long. So if you start it now, it's good for Christmas. It's good for,
Right. Oh yeah,
you
it's
know,
not gonna like get old and
right.
expire. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's a cute little, you
it's a
know,
it's a good homemade gift. Yeah, it's a good
yeah,
gift. And like I said,
that people are going to
especially
use.
people.
Right.
Exactly. Most people that cook or bake, vanilla's in everything. Oh, it is in my granola too. The
There you
little,
go. And
yeah.
I use it in my homemade yogurt when I make homemade yogurt. Did you
How
know
do
I
you
did
make
that?
homemade yogurt?
That
No.
also, you also need live cultures, live bacteria for homemade yogurt.
Oh my gosh. Well,
So it's not as hard as it used
I
to be.
feel
So,
like you're kind of like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
well,
Like you
yogurt
have
is a
stuff
lot
growing
easier.
in your refrigerator.
Yogurt is a lot easier because some of them, like now you can get a yogurt maker and it's essentially like just keeps it warm. You mix it, you keep it warm, but you just use milk.
That sounds
Uh,
gross. You
well,
keep it warm.
you don't keep it warm when you're gonna, you keep it warm for like 12 hours and then you put it in the
Mm.
fridge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you keep it warm
Okay.
like while it's becoming yogurt from milk. So you heat up milk. You have to have a candy thermometer, heat it up to a certain temperature. Then you put in the little, now you can get like powdered yogurt starter cultures just in a little container from Amazon or from wherever. You put in like a
Okay.
little half a teaspoon, you mix it in there while the milk gets warm, like almost to boiling, and then you pour it in jars and you let it stay warm for like whatever, 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours. And then you put it in the fridge. Now you do have to add the sweetener. You gotta, add some kind of
Oh
flavor
yeah.
unless you just want plain
Ugh.
Greek yogurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super easy. You can do it in an Instapot. You can do it in a slow cooker. You can
Do
do it
your
in your
kids
oven,
like
put
it?
the light on. My kids like it, but I have to add a lot, like, fruit
Sweeteners
and
or oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and so, which is fine, but they kind of go through phases and I get really frustrated when I make stuff homemade and then they don't eat it because I'm like, I put a lot of time into that.
Oh
I could
yeah.
just go get you some like Go-Gurt for $2.
Or
So
Activia. Activia is very good for you too.
right, exactly. So we don't have it in the house all the time because I get frustrated when I'm like, okay, like also farm fresh eggs when I make eggs in the morning and then like three out of my five kids won't eat them and leave them on their plate. And I'm like, those are good eggs.
Don't waste those eggs.
Don't do it. So what happens? I end up eating those eggs because I'm like, I'm not gonna waste those eggs. I'm gonna go
Right,
put
right.
some cheese on them and I'm gonna eat them for breakfast. Um, so I don't make yogurt as often as I used to,
Yeah.
because I'm like it makes the recipe makes a lot and then it's a lot of work and I'm like if they're not going to eat it. So but they're starting to grow out of that. I think they're eating it more and more. So I'm like we might get back into that. It's easier than sourdough. I'll tell you that.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
you know,
Oh, I don't know, but I'll take your word for it.
I'm not bringing it on our next trip. Sorry.
Don't, don't. Just the idea of warm yogurt has turned my stomach. So no.
Well, you don't eat it warm. It's warm while it's
I know,
heating.
but you said it and it's already there. So
She's grossed out now. We'll just buy it at the store.
Yes, yes.
Gonna get it in the cafeteria at work, like everybody else,
That's right.
where it's
Yeah, and
cold.
mine is cold.
Yes.
All right. I don't have any more food things. Do you have food things? I have like what else? What are you doing? What's going on?
I was just waiting for you to finish your sentence.
I just have like the next thing are like medicinal stuff.
Okay, I have one more that's food related, and
Okay.
that is that I have just started switching some things over that from having like artificial dyes, like Red 40, and I'm just now I'm
Oh,
behind the times with the crunchy people. This is why I'm just
yeah.
crunchy. I also think that I was kind of in a phase in my life where I did not have the capacity to like read all the labels. I was just like, I can't deal with this right now. Because when you have 5 kids in less than 5 years, you're just like, what? What are we doing? Like, you know what
Well,
I mean?
I don't have any kids, but I don't read labels. I'm just like in the basket,
Yeah, but I
like
mean, there's a few things that I'm like, I mean, there's some things like, Easter's coming up, and I'm like, how am I gonna, like, am I really gonna be able to find all the candy that doesn't have, or candy they get at school or at the church egg
right.
hunt? I'm like, there's gonna be an exception, but things that we use all the time. So I do like Kool-Aid, like powder lemonade mix,
Uh-huh.
like Country Time. And then we ended up switching from Country Time to Great Value because there's a big canister, like Great Value canister of lemonade, and they use turmeric for the coloring. I mean, it's just yellow,
Oh,
but it's turmeric
right,
instead
right.
of one of the dyes.
One of the
And
guys.
and I was like, okay, and it's cane sugar, so I'm like, oh, this is a good thanks, Great Value.
Yeah.
So somehow they did it, and it didn't cost them a lot
And
more.
it still tastes good.
Tastes good. Yeah, it tastes like lemonade. My kids don't care. So, um,
So on that, my cousin is kind of watching that with her kids, my cousin
mhm.
Maddie, and
Yep.
she ordered off of Amazon the Fruit Loops
Oh
that
yeah.
are in other countries. Like
Yes.
the Fruit Loops that don't have the dyes in them,
Right.
they have like what makes the red is like beet juice, and then orange might be the turmeric. I don't know, but it's much healthier.
Yeah.
And I was like, she was like, the taste is still just as good. Now she has a young kid, so he doesn't like eat cereal. He just eats it dry. And
Sure.
he has no issues whatsoever with the flavor of it.
Yeah, and I think that unfortunately, since we were young, we've been trained to
Yeah,
like be attracted to the bright colors, and the
right.
colors aren't going to be as bright, but it's just because we're used to it. Like,
Right.
I mean, my kids aren't going to know the difference. They'd be like, Fruit Loops are great. They don't care what color they are
Hmm.
because they don't eat it very often. So like, I think it's just getting out of that mentality. And hopefully there'll be more options. Of course, they may be more expensive, but yeah, so I mean, I'm glad there's other options. It does take time and energy though to like
To make
sort
that
through all
switch.
those things. And I
But
don't know that we'll ever be like hard stop. I mean, it's kind of like fast food. I don't think there will be a time where it's not like once a month I'm going through the drive-through and getting
right.
like some nugs for the kids. Like that's life. Now is it 5 times a week? No, it's probably once a month, which is not bad at all. I like chicken
But
nuggets
also,
once a
don't
month,
you
you know?
think I think our country is kind of like turning that where we want companies like, okay, you make it
Yes.
healthier
Yeah.
for every other country, but our country,
Right.
why
Yeah.
don't you just give us that healthier version? And I think a lot of people recently are in a big push for that.
Mhm.
Because what is it? Is it In and Out or Steak and Shake? One of the fast food just switched their oils to like beef
Mhm.
tallow instead
Yeah.
of the
Instead
oil.
of
So
peanut. Yeah.
yeah, so I think our country kind of is
Yeah.
in that like
And I hope they
push.
realize too that like people will pay, 20 cents more for their
Right.
meal. Like it's
Yeah.
not, it sounds like a lot when they're like, we save millions of dollars every year. I'm like, you're talking about your whole budget, but like the cost that it is on ours may not even be noticeable. Like it's 12 cents
Hmm.
more for your value meal. That's not really and people will choose that because they do want somewhat healthier,
Yeah.
with those things. So, but I don't think it'll ever be right. How we live in the world today, I don't know that we will ever have it a high enough priority that I'm like, absolutely not. Like we're at a friend's birthday party and we're like, sorry, you can't have that cake. No cupcakes. Do you see the color on them? Like I won't ever be to that extreme. I know myself.
Right.
I'll be like, it's okay. Like we don't do this all the time. It's
Yes,
every once in a while.
exactly.
So, and that's how we were with cloth diapering as well. And I say were,
Ugh,
well, we're
ugh.
almost out of diapers, but um, cloth
I
diapers
thought you were
are
crazy when you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna have cloth diapers for Claire," and I was like, "I'm gonna need to hold her when she's in a regular diaper because I don't want
if she ever
anything
like leaked
spilling
on
out on me."
you.
Yeah,
I
nothing.
don't think that ever happened. Okay, well, see,
No,
there
it didn't, but
cloth
I didn't
diapers
want
have
to.
changed a lot since like we were babies. Like now, I mean, my mom
Could
and
care
all.
less. I think I was in regular diapers.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like not all of us were. Some in
Were
my family
you
were
in?
disposable and some were cloth.
Mm,
But they also have come like now they have like sensitive skin and they have like they can, it's just a lot better disposable diapers than they used to be. Because I think I was in cloth because I kept getting rashes, whereas now I'm sure they have one that's like hypoallergenic and it's good
yeah.
for babies. But anyway, so they've changed a lot. There is a lot less leaking, but there's also like we were just like we want to do cloth diapers. I want to do cloth diapers. My husband was always like, that's a pain in the butt, but you're the one that's doing it primarily because you're with the kids more. So we did, and it wasn't that bad. I was like, it's okay, it's good, it's working out well. But when we went
No.
traveled, when I had a babysitter overnight, like we had disposables right beside the cloth ones. And so if I have somebody watching my kids, I'm going to be like, just use disposables. I'm not going to make
Right.
them go and like wash cloth
Oh,
diapers, spray them off in
stop
the
it.
toilet, put them in a bucket, and then I'm gonna wash them
Oh.
later. Like, say they go to like a friend's house or they go, not a friend with their babies, but like, if there was like the grandparents are watching them, I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm just gonna use disposable when they're at your house. Like, I mean, I don't want to make them do all that because it is more work.
It's
And
a
then
lot of work.
overnight,
Yeah.
yeah, overnight we always were just like, we're using because our kids will sleep 12 hours overnight. I'm like, we're just gonna use disposable because I do not want to have to like double the cloth diapers, change
And
sheets
then
in the morning.
change the
No.
sheets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we
No,
were always kind of like, we will do this, but it was never like a like hard stop, like this is our only way and we will 100% do
to
this
do
and
it.
nothing else. Like I'm like, yeah, we have disposable diapers in our house too. But really what stopped the cloth diapering is when we had a 12-month-old and twin newborns. And I was like, I never thought I'd have three kids in diapers at the same time, much less three very small children in diapers. The
And you
twins
were
are like
like,
4 pounds. I'm like, we're
well,
not using cloth diapers
you,
on.
she was like, "Do you think I can potty train Luke, who was a year?" And I was like, "No, no, I think I mean, you do really good with potty training your kids because they're super young and like potty trained. But I was like, he's a year. He's just
Yeah.
walking. No,
Yeah. I was
no.
like, I think that's out. I don't think we're going to get him
Yeah.
potty trained before the twins arrive. So yes, I had three kids in diapers for a very long time. And I was like, okay, cloth diapers are one thing, but cloth diapers for three kids is a lot
Yeah.
more. Like that's a lot more laundry than just one baby. So yeah, I was
Right.
like, no, we're going to just switch. And I happily
To
gave
regular
off,
diapers.
gave all of the cloth diapers I had to my very crunchy sister-in-law. And she was like, these are great, thanks. Because they're expensive. I mean.
The only way I'm using a cloth diaper is to like clean at my house.
Dust.
That's it.
Yeah,
If
you've
I
been
have
like
anything
cleaning
like that,
yourself, like your
yeah, no.
diaper area. And I'm like,
It
what?
is, I am
Why would
dusting
you
my
take a shower?
furniture, doing my like my mirrors with it. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the only way I'm doing using that.
Well, I don't think these would work very well. I mean, these have like, they're not like the old cloth diapers, but anyway, that's beside the point. So moving on, cloth diapers I did for the first 2.5
Ooh,
children, and then I was done. So,
yeah.
yes.
All right. Good for you.
Speaking of clothing though, I do hang my clothes on the line to dry. Not all the time,
Oh yeah.
but like when I have time in the summer, they're dry in like 30 minutes here. So I'm like, I just like it. My husband
So,
doesn't.
okay.
Like they're like
Yeah, here's the
crunchy.
thing. Okay, my grandma always hung on the line, and my mom hangs on the line. And I understand like sheets and oh, they smell so good because they're
Yeah.
outside. But a towel, it is so like hard. It's like it
Yes.
exfoliates your skin when you use it. You're like, like, come on. Just it's just oh, it's a lot. So yeah, I don't
We'll
like
see.
towels on
We'll
there.
see. And then I will often like, depending on what it is, if it's like that, I'll often bring them in and put them in the dryer for like 15 minutes just to for a minute
Oh,
kind of
that's
breaks
a
that
good
up.
idea. Yeah.
But then, of
Yeah.
course, some people are like, well,
Then
why
why
don't
don't you
you
just
just
put them
run
in the
it for an
dryer?
hour instead of like, I'm
Yes.
still running it for 15 minutes, you
Yeah.
know? But I think it's the nostalgia. That's what it is. It's nostalgic because,
Hmm.
I mean, yes, it saves energy. Okay, that's good. I'm not saying that's bad, but there are a lot of other things that I do that don't save
I'm not
energy.
going to
Like
say
I'm not the
anything.
queen of saving energy over here. So I'm like, it is kind of like those people who are like penny pinching, but then they stop at Starbucks. And you're like, okay, you're reusing your Ziploc bags, but you're going to Starbucks like twice a week.
Right.
Like that could have bought you like 100 more Ziploc bags. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, it does save energy and I like that aspect, but I think for me, it's more, I like them hanging on the line. I like how they feel and the freshness. And it's like, that's what we did when we were young. So like, I just like that. That's probably more of it than the saving energy.
And then, like when a thunderstorm pops up in the summer, because you
Right.
have those afternoon thunderstorms,
Mhm.
it's like run out there and it's a rush, yeah, and
Get the
lightning's
gloves.
piping and hitting, and you're like trying to get the clothes off the line. Is
Yeah.
it worth dying over? Probably
No.
not.
And there's a time, like there's a time for things. Like I did not, there were probably 3 years straight that I did not hang clothes on the line because it was a lot of time and energy that I just didn't have, like with the little kids. And now I'm coming out of that
Oh,
fog. So I'm like, oh, we can do this again. But it was just like, walking out there. And then the other thing is, let me tell you what a pain in the butt hanging up
whoa.
socks, tiny little socks and tiny little underwear and shorts and onesies is versus like adult clothes. Like an adult load of
Oh,
laundry
yeah.
is like 30 items and I hang them all up. When I'm hanging up baby stuff, I'm like, my arms are gonna cramp up. Like my arms are so tired because I'm hanging up. There's 400 pieces of really small clothing.
400.
I don't have enough clothespin. I only have 200 clothespins. Like, come on. So yes, baby clothes are a pain in the butt to hang up because
Yeah,
there's
put
too
those in the
many.
dryer. Save yourself
Right, exactly.
come
Which
on.
is
You're
what I did for a while. So I'm like just now
yeah.
coming out of that and I'm like, oh, the kids are playing outside. Like I'll just take this load out and hang them up. Like why not? Whereas like when they were younger, I was like, I gotta get dinner. I'm exhausted. This is happening. There's diapers. There's I was like, no, I don't have time for that. But now I'm back to that and I like it. So crunchy.
Okay. Well, all right. Is that the all the food and
Well, we were
well,
on
yeah, we
clothes.
haven't talked. Then we went
The
to clothes.
the only
So
other clothes thing I
I'll
have is that I like kind of alter or mend clothes. Like I'll like, oh, I can take my kids' pants in if they're like, I have some skinnier kids, or hemming, altering dresses to,
you made your own prom dress in high school and your own wedding dress.
yes, my wedding dress was prettier than my prom dress, thankfully.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was. It was. Your prom
Um,
dress was pretty,
yeah.
but your wedding dress and your mom. I remember when you said, "I'm going to make my own wedding dress," and I was like, "What?" And your mom called me and was like, Angela, can you please talk Betsy into not doing this? And I was like, I'm right there with you, Miss Hess. I can't believe it. First of all, we don't get to go to the store and be like, oh, she said yes to the dress. But second of all, what? But you had a plan. You followed through with it.
I
You
did.
wanted to,
I was
you.
never anxious about it. I went to David's Bridal with my mom and I tried on some dresses, which helped me know, like, okay, more what I want. It also
Mhm.
gave me the backup, like, if I'm not done by this date, I can go to David's Bridal and get a pretty dress and, like, they can have it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, okay, I had that, but I also got done. I think I finished the dress. The wedding was in July, and I think I finished the dress, like, in April. So I wanted to have it done and not be like, it's June, it's July, and I'm still working.
Right, right,
So
right.
I was like, I've been around enough weddings to know that like the last 2 weeks to a month before the wedding is very stressful. I don't need to be trying to finish my dress 2 weeks
Yeah,
before the
too
wedding or
much.
2 days before the wedding.
And
So I think it was
you,
more stressful for my mom because she
oh,
was
for sure.
afraid that I was going to
And
get done with
also,
it and not be happy with it and then feel like I had to wear it because it was her dress.
I was about to say it was
Yeah.
your mom's dress and then another dress you found at like a thrift store and you used a lot of the lace, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. It was like from
And
the
then
40s.
it was your mother-in-law's dress.
Yes. Shout out
So a
Elaine. Shout out
mixture of
Sue.
yes, a mixture of all of them and it was beautiful.
Well, thank
You did
you.
do very good. I mean,
So,
excellent.
and I just thought it was really special to use my mom's dress. Now, my mom's dress from 1975, which was sewn by my grandmother.
Ah,
So, yeah, so my grandmother made it for my mom, which I think was pretty common then, a
back
seamstress,
then.
someone
Yeah.
you, yeah. So that was from 1975, and it was like one layer of polyester. And then and then my
Woo.
mother-in-law's was from 1984, and it was very much the opposite.
Poofy
Lots of
sleeves.
volume and lots of like very
Love
pretty
it.
lace, and
Which is
is
kind
what
of
I
back in
use.
style right now. Me and you
Yeah.
were talking about this, like
Mhm.
the 80s stuff.
Yeah, so it was for me, I'm a very sentimental person about things like that. So I really liked being able to use my mom's dress that was sewn by my grandmother, to be able to use my mother-in-law's dress and to put those together. My mother-in-law has four sons, so she didn't have any daughters to pass it on to. And so I just thought that was really neat. But
It
again,
is
my
really
mom was
cool.
worried that I was going to get to the end and not like it and not feel pretty and feel like I had to wear it anyway. And it didn't. I mean, I got to the end and I loved it and I felt beautiful. So I was like, okay, it worked
Oh
out.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I don't really make clothes, but I do like alter things or hem, do like those kind of things, mending. And then I make like babies quilts or quilts for my kids. Like, quilts are a little easier than like designing
Do
a
you
dress.
still do quilts for them?
I do. I'm in the middle of I'm behind because originally it was like I had a twin size quilt for my daughter when she turned 2 and got her big girl bed. And the same for my son when he turned 2 and he was in a big boy bed. And then my third son is now almost 3 and I don't have his done. But I have all the pieces cut and I'm still working on it. I know that it'll get done. But I've
And then
also
the
been like
twins just be like,
they
oh well.
no, I made
SOL.
them. They were the only ones that didn't have a baby quilt made by like family members or passed down. Like my baby quilt passed down, my husband's baby quilt passed down, and then somebody made one for our third son that we all put pieces on. Anyway, so the three other ones had baby quilts and the twins did not. So I made them a baby quilt also that they use
Oh,
right now, which they're in twin toddler beds. So, or they're in toddler beds, so that works. So I will make them a twin quilt, but I also am like, I'm trying to prioritize, and we do a photo book every year.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that has been like every kid has a baby book. And I am just like, pat yourself on the back because I think that's really hard to like get done. I know so many moms that are like, I have the first kids done. Then
Yeah,
they're just
yeah.
like, and then life happened. So
And
every
then that's
baby
it.
book, like the quilts, I'm like, we'll get to that. But every is a baby book, and like we're trying to just like, you got to prioritize which projects get done. So I do think those will happen, but those might be a little bit further down the road. So that's kind of crunchy.
Okay,
Sewing.
so
All right. What
let's
about
go on.
you?
So we have been making, and I guess I have to start with my mama, my mama's mom. When we were young, she started making this cough syrup, and her cough syrup consisted of peppermint and whiskey.
Oh, wow.
And yes, you let it sit. Like she used to get the peppermints like after Christmas. And I remember just the candy canes, like open them all up and just shoving them in the whiskey thing and lets it sit. And
Like a
the
handle of
peppermint,
whiskey, like just a big jug of whiskey?
yes, yes.
Wow.
And when we were young, if we had a cough, come get you some cough medicine. And it knocked us out. I don't know if it was because the whiskey, but it worked. You were not
How
coughing.
much did she give you?
A tablespoon, I'm sure. Yeah, and not like she meant like just a tablespoon. Come on, come on.
Yeah.
And yeah, so my mom has continued that and my aunt makes that and she adds I think she adds honey to hers and alum. And I don't know what alum is, so I'm going to
I
stop
don't know
talking
what
about
that
that.
is. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
have to
don't
look that up. Is this a black market thing? What's alum?
I just said I don't know what it is.
Okay,
So
sorry. I don't know what it is either.
and
Moms
I
are
don't
real
even know if I'm
confident.
pronouncing it right.
She makes a jug of this stuff.
Oh, this was a lot. But listen, people in the family would call and be like, "Hey, do you have any cough syrup?" Because it's not like
Okay.
you can just make cough syrup today, a Monday, and then with Thursday you're using it. No, no, no. You have to let this sit. It needs to be like
Longer than the vanilla.
months. Yes, yes. This takes a long time. It doesn't, it turns like, and you just shake it up, but it turns, because whiskey's thin. This turns kind of thick. So, but I'm gonna tell you, it works. I'm not. So, so that cough syrup, and then my mom recently started making an elderberry mixture.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And it's supposed to be for like very good for your immune system. And I don't know what she puts in it besides elderberry and ginger. And she boils it and
There you go again.
yeah. Uh but it's a lot of stuff she puts in it. And then she gives me a jar, and she has a jar and she passes it on to whoever.
And
But
she makes her own because I mean elderberry is very popular right now. Like you can just buy
very,
over the
yeah.
counter elderberry syrup.
I think she puts these special like cinnamon sticks in it. Um so yeah, it's really so that's another thing that we've kind of been doing. And then I haven't done this yet because I'm waiting for some honey. But have you done the garlic and you add honey to it?
Hmm.
And it's
Just let it
like
sit in a jar. Yeah.
yes. And my hairdresser, she does that. And she said, Angela, when I start feeling sick, I just go get me like a tablespoon of that. And she said it really knocks whatever I have.
Yeah.
And I'll do that for like 5 days. And
Yeah.
so that's another thing like on my list to start with that.
Okay. So yes, we've done that. I have a few other questions.
Okay. I don't know if I have the answers. I'm just telling you what we do.
First of all,
Because
how do you
also
spell alum?
I did you not hear me when I said I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right? I think it's an
Because I
with an
just tried to
A.
look it up and I couldn't find anything.
Is it like ALUM? Is that not right? Alum? I'm just saying what I think, what I
Okay,
hear.
we're going to move on from the alum because I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I looked that up. I don't know. Please comment below if you have any idea what it could be that she's adding. It
So
sounds
what it
something like
is?
alum because we don't know. Okay, so my next question is, when you are sick as an adult, you have a cough, do you
Yeah.
use Mama's whiskey and peppermint? Cranberry or whiskey and peppermint cough syrup, or would you use something over the counter? Like, did you used to use this and now you've kind of like grown out of it? You're an adult, or because
No,
little kids, there's
if
not any cough syrup they can have when they're really young. Like we just use we give them a spoon of honey just to help, soothe their
if
throat.
they're over a year,
Over a
yes.
year. Okay, sorry. This is not a medical podcast, but yes, if they're over,
Right.
give them a little honey, because they can't really have anything yet when they're pretty young. So, do you use
So
it now, or do you use your own stuff in your
I
medicine cabinet?
would use it now, but we don't like we have I don't think we have anymore. Like we have to make some
Okay, so
more,
you have
you
to
know.
make.
Yeah. But when we were young, that's what we all got. Like at
Well,
Mama's
I think you
house.
should make a big handle of peppermint vodka, cough syrup, and give it to your cousins for Christmas.
Oh, that's a good idea,
Yeah, they would
actually.
love that because I mean, sure, they all
Yeah.
were getting it from Mama, when they would be over there. So.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes she would just be like, okay, line up. We're about to go to sleep. And we'd be like,
Everybody's gonna sleep good tonight at my
and
house.
I'm not even coughing. And she's like, come here, open up.
No, but that would be fun. That'd be a fun gift to give your
That
cousins.
is a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Christmas gifts are a different episode, but I just, thought I'd
and
throw it
you
out
have to let that though sit for a while.
there.
Now,
Right.
also, we do need to make a disclaimer that we are not telling anyone what to do. You do what you want to do,
Yes.
but we're because I don't know if it works because I'm in the medical field. You are married to medical field. You know, there's a reason like antibiotics and all that they work like they do. But if you want to, try like natural stuff before you get to that, whatever you
I
do,
mean,
you
honestly,
people.
that seems like it's more just to like soothe your
Yeah,
throat. It's not like
yeah.
trying to help you get over a virus.
Right. If you have
Yeah.
pneumonia, yeah, don't do whiskey and honey. Like, do some, go take some medicine.
This is like hopefully so you don't cough as much when you lay down to go to sleep kind of thing.
Right.
Um, Also, yeah, I don't think this would fly with my husband to be like, oh, let's give him this. Honey, though,
Let's
we do
give,
honey, which is
yeah.
also natural.
Can you imagine you telling Sean, listen, Angela's mama said just some whiskey and peppermint. Sean would be like, what? Our kids are 7. They don't need whiskey.
That's the oldest one too. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what his reaction will be. We'll have to see if he listens to this. But the honey and garlic and I think like orange slices or lemon slices, taste very good. And I mean, it's strong and you can taste the
Yeah.
garlic obviously, but
The
the honey
garlic.
definitely
Yeah.
cuts it. And that just I would take a big couple spoonfuls and put it in with just hot water like tea.
Oh,
And I
very
did it that way.
nice.
You can just, I mean, take a
Just
spoonful,
take a
you know,
spoonful.
you can, but the hot water is always very soothing.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
my mom's like her elderberry that she just started making, it actually has a to me, it has a very good flavor. Like I don't mind. And I do she's like do a tablespoon, but I have my own jar, so I just like do a little before I go to work in the morning.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it is good.
Little, little chug,
Yeah.
little
And there's
swig off of the
no alcohol. She puts no
elderberry.
alcohol in that. It's just like I said, elderberry, cinnamon, ginger. I don't know what else she puts, but there's no alcohol in hers.
You've said there's no alcohol several times.
Yeah,
Right
because I
after you
said
said you
before.
take a swig of it before you go to
I
work.
know, I know. I have to say
Covered
that.
your bases, Angela. We are not, we know you're not drinking before work, okay? It's all clear. It's
I
very
know.
clear. Angela does not drink alcohol when she goes to work. Done.
I know.
You covered it. We're safe. We're good. It's just like, let me
So
make
yeah,
sure this is
and
different.
then this book has other things. So I haven't looked through them, but just
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just all kinds of stuff that
I need to hear about
like,
the beef tallow.
huh?
Beef
Oh,
tallow. You haven't shared about
yes.
beef tallow yet, which
So
I am
that's
this is what shocked me. Angela told me this and I was like, I don't even know who you are anymore. Are you my friend? Are you the
yeah.
same person? Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead. Beef
And
tallow.
then Betsy was like, "Does it smell?" And I was like, the beef tallow that I use now, I got off the TikTok shop and it's like mixed with it's a cream and it's mixed with like honey." And I was like, "So yeah, it smells good." And she was like, "So you don't smell like beef?" And I was like, "I don't want to smell like beef."
Well,
Like,
because I've heard other people are like, this makes my skin feel really good, but like you open the jar and it literally smells like beef fat. Like
no,
I smell, and it's right on your face, so you're gonna smell
no,
it forever. So
no.
I do think there's just like 100% beef tallow that people are using right now on
Oh
their.
yeah, yeah. They make it themselves. I'm not putting beef on my face. Not happening.
I think I'd rather put like a raw steak on my face. And
That
then
I know.
just like
I
then it goes
picture
away, but
like
rubbing it
Lady
in,
Gaga,
yes.
like
Yeah.
a roast beef face
Mhm.
mask. Not gonna happen with me.
I just wonder who started this.
I don't know, but supposedly it's really good for you. So the girls that I mentioned earlier, Michelle, Melissa, Johnette, Susan, and Grace, we are because Michelle has cows and she has tallow, beef tallow. I don't know where. I mean, I don't ask questions. She's just like, let's have a day where we come and we make beef tallow. So that day when they made beef tallow, because I don't want to do that. I'm gonna do probably the hair serum or the garlic and honey stuff.
So you're
But
gonna
beef
like have a little day to be crunchy with
yeah,
your friends and
crunchy. We're all going to be crunchy. Yeah. But beef tallow, they said it's like very good for your skin, like for fine wrinkles and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't
that's
know.
really interesting. So what's your take on it now that you've been trying it? How long have you been using this
Mm,
TikTok beef tallow and honey?
probably a month, but I don't use it every night.
Okay.
But I don't because I do put some type of moisturizer on my face every night because, we are aging.
That's so good
And
of you.
yeah. So I don't notice, I'll tell you this. I don't notice a difference between putting the beef tallow mixture on my face versus like my normal lotion that I do is like Cetaphil.
Yeah.
So, um, I just, I can tell my face if I don't put anything on it, but the difference between those, I don't notice the difference.
Maybe I would notice a difference since I do not use
But
moisturizer. Right? Then if I start a beef tallow, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing compared to nothing, you know?
But mine is not like I would like maybe to try like just beef tallow because mine is a very, like I said, it's mixed with stuff, so it's a thicker
It's like a
cream.
lotion, yeah, with beef
Yes, yes, yes.
which is probably because it's trending right now. So they're trying to like,
Oh, 100% people are capitalizing
so
on
my dad has really dry skin on his hands in the
it.
winter.
Okay, okay, because I didn't know where you were going with that. I'm like,
Uh,
wait a second.
and
But
they did this thing several years ago, like, cause like his knuckles were like cracking and
oh
bleeding
yeah, right.
real
It
bad.
gets
Yeah.
yes.
So he got like cotton gloves. My mom found this from somewhere. This is probably I mean, the internet existed, but this was a while ago. And he got cotton gloves and put either Crisco or butter a lot all over
Ooh.
his hands. Put the cotton gloves on, but when he went to sleep at night. And in the morning, it was completely absorbed. Like there was
Oh,
nothing.
really?
Yes.
I was about to say, then he took an hour trying to get that, like,
No.
you
He'd
know?
wake up in the morning and he like the first time like took the gloves off and was like, "Oh my gosh, like where did all the Crisco go?" It's in your skin. So like, isn't that
What's his
crazy?
cholesterol?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? So now, obviously,
Joking,
this is a
joking.
very extreme measure, but I thought that's really
Right.
interesting. Like, I'm sure other oils and like beef tallow and
Well,
things like
beef
that
tallow, yeah.
you could use in the same manner for like, now, obviously, he only did this like a few times when it was like really bad, like his skin's bleeding, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, I was so disturbed. I was quite a bit younger, and I was like, that's really gross.
Yeah.
But
But
now I'm like, hey, it is painful. If your skin is
oh, for
like that,
sure.
I'd be like, give me the butter. Like,
Whatever,
I don't
yeah.
care.
But
You know?
also beef tallow, yeah, it's super popular now. And I wonder if it'll stay on this trend. I think like that's what we were talking about earlier, like how our country kind of is going to like
Yep.
more natural things. So yeah, when we make it, I'll let you know how it is. If it smells like beef though, I'm not putting it on my face. Just telling you right now.
Well,
And if any of my
maybe
friends are
there's some
listening,
kind of like scent,
oil, yeah.
pure scent that they could put in there so that it wouldn't be. But you got to be careful with which oils you're putting on your skin too. So who
True,
knows?
true.
You'll have to let me
Yeah.
know how it goes.
We will.
I was gonna say the beef tallow could add an interesting element if it does smell like beef to your dating life, because men may find that a very attractive smell. Like, be like, there was just something about Angela, and
You
it was
smell like
like,
pot roast, like
I
Sunday
know,
dinner.
like it's just a whole. I felt like at home, like just like in my mom's
Well,
kitchen.
I think there is like a perfume that smells like bacon. And I'm like, no, I'm not that desperate
No,
yet.
my
No.
husband says no,
I'm
maybe
gonna
not, maybe
stick with
not
my
for this.
Valentino.
I mean, women are all about like the floral, like light smells like that. But I'm like,
Yeah.
men, I did read a study that there was like different food scents, and some of them were like pumpkin and like some real interesting foods, but that they were when they did testing that the men were more attracted to those type scents
Oh,
than women are. And I was
yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know. Women tend to like, I mean, gosh, remember all the Bath and Body Works? It was like
Oh, yeah. We smell like cucumbers.
cucumber melon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like cucumbers, but I'm like, I don't know about that,
Right.
man. And now those
All
scents
right.
sometimes are way too strong. When I smell them, I'm like, how do we
Oh, yeah.
all the
How
time?
did
I'm
we do
like,
that?
like coughing when I go in there. I'm like, I have a headache. Like, is this my
No.
age, or is it just like I'm just not used to it? Whereas, like when we were in high school and college, we just sprayed it everywhere all the time.
Yes, constantly too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my room, on my body, my hair. It was just like we got to smell.
They kept in the
Woo.
car. Yeah.
Yeah, man, we were we were full of Bath and Body Works.
We were.
All right, well, I
All
think
right.
that's it for the
Yeah.
crunchiness.
Add some comments if y'all have other things that y'all do that are
Oh
crunchy.
yeah, yep.
So, because I'm more silky, but we'll see what we do.
We'll see what we do.
We'll see. Yeah.
So, thanks for listening and
Yeah.
watching. Let us know if you have any topics you want us to talk about, and we will see you next time.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.